Program funding for the Organic Odyssey was provided by the California Certified Organic Farmers Foundation, as well as the Transition to Organic Partnership Program. Visit their web pages or social media for all their amazing content and guidance on everything organic. Support for the Organic Odyssey is provided in part by the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at Cal Poly. For more information or to support the center, please visit organic.calpoly.edu. That's organic.calpoly.edu for the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at Cal Poly. Support for the Organic Odyssey is provided in part by AgCom Central. Visit AgCom Central on twitch.tv or youtube.com for all content ag-related. That's AgCom Central on twitch.tv or youtube.com for AgCom Central.
Hello everyone, my name is Emery Pura and I'm here with my co-host Amanda Kidd. Welcome to the second episode of Season 2, Organic Odyssey, Journeying Through Sustainable Farming at Cal Poly. Today we'll be talking with farmer Stan Pura about a day in his life. We are joined by an incredible panel today if they would all like to introduce themselves.
You say it so casually, like we're here with a guest, Stan Pura. That's your dad, right? So welcome to the podcast. I'm Dr. Mike. I'm the professor for the 225 class and the sort of the overarching director of what's happening. And so I was glad to be offered the opportunity to sit in on the panel so I could talk to an actual farmer with a lot of experience is what I've heard. So please.
Thank you. I'm Stan Pura, and I guess my title these days is actually Senior Advisor for the Ag Ops at Taylor Farming.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Okay, so we wanted to start by just you giving us some background, kind of what got you into farming and eventually organic farming.
Okay, well, I grew up on a family farm conventionally, and came to Cal Poly in 1974. I was here for about 3 quarters, and a ranch came up for lease in Greenville area, and so the landlord gave me an opportunity to rent it, and so I unfortunately quit school and went back to Greenville and started farming. And so, but yeah, I grew up on a family farm, knew that was what I always wanted to do. Farmed conventionally for probably 15 years, and this was back in probably the early 90s. We still were facing a lot of issues conventionally. State of California was eliminating a lot of the pesticides that were currently used, all for good reasons, and so we thought that we need to experiment with sustainable agriculture, that there needs to be a better way than what we were doing conventionally.
I heard 15 years conventionally, and then you're also an organic farmer now. So how long overall have you been in farming?
I've been in business since for about 50 years.
Excuse me?
50, yes.
I'm not even that old.
Yes.
I'm a professor here.
Well, when I quit school, I was 18, yes, I'm to be 68 this year. So.
Oh my gosh!
Right?
I hope you get a trophy or something, Emery.
I have 5 of them.
For someone who doesn't know what a farmer's life is like, could you walk us through a little bit of a day-to-day, maybe give us a rundown on a day in your life or something like that?
Okay. Obviously when you start out on a smaller scale, you have to wear a lot of hats. And so that means, you're in charge of your employees. So you're your own HR department, you're your own payroll department, and you're your own IT department, and food safety, and all the above. So you had to do it all. And then as you scale up, a lot of the tasks become more specialized. So, early on it was, lining out, starting with your customers and their needs as far as the products they want and when they want them. I probably don't want to go into a whole lot of detail, but it's a combination of servicing your customers, and with that you have to break everything down to a per acre basis and know when to plant it on time to have it harvested when they want, is the planning part of it. And then you have to look at your asset needs to accomplish the work that's in front of you. And then you have to have the right balance of employees that can perform the different tasks. And so it's managing people, solving problems, servicing a customer, having a cultural experience to know how to work ground, take care of equipment, evaluate varieties, and yes, it's about having a economic feasible business at the end of the day. So
you talked about like a fair amount of things that you go through on a day-to-day basis. So I'm going to try to break that down into like different component parts. You might have production days, you have harvest days, you have like regular days, you have customer service days. So let's start with there's a fly in here and it's an agricultural podcast. So like, hey, we're in the field, right? What is the average production day? Like putting seeds in the ground, what goes into that process, and what does a day in production look like?
At today's scale, what it starts with is a customer demand, and so Taylor Retail, Taylor Food Service will break down what their product needs are to service their customers, and what that looks like organically today is we plant around 500 acres a week. So, and that is made up of various crops, a lot of tender leaf crops, spinach, romaine hearts, probably two of our biggest. But so it starts with a demand, and then we have to put that into a plan, convert those pounds to yields, to acres, and what we have rolling out now is what we call a forward-thinking platform to organize our planning schedules, and that then helps develop a plan for all of our functions that need to happen. So we start with a planning schedule. We farm around 20,000 acres, and 70% of that is organic, and so we have 13 different farming units scattered from out east of Yuma, Arizona, Yuma Valley, Imperial Valley in the winter season, and then we're in San Benito County and Salinas Valley in the coastal areas there for the spring, summer, and fall. So there's 13 units, different farming units, and so we have to spread that planning schedule workload out amongst those units for having the right things planted in the right place at the right time in the right amounts, balance a workload across all the ranch managers to try to utilize asset management as well as employees and minimizing overtime and things like that. So it's a really thought out plan that helps organize what we do. So that's how we start. And with that schedule also has plant density that we want to plant to. It has varieties of each specific crop. It has the days in ground. So it has a wet date. Here's the date you have to plant it in order to harvest it on the week that the customer needs it. So
you're talking about a machine. Like it's a machine with inputs that derive outputs over 20,000 acres. That's what it sounds like.
It's yes. It's a well organized plan that organizes everybody work. So, we have each one of those farm units has a ranch manager. Each one of those farm units under that ranch manager has a tractor foreman, an irrigation foreman. So that tractor foreman will have a schedule that pertains just to their area, and he can see how many acres he has coming at him that he has to plant, so he knows what he needs to do for bed work when. He knows how much fertilizer to order to have that on prior to planting. The planning team knows exactly how many pounds of each seed and variety they need. That's all driven off of that schedule. And then, so the irrigation foreman knows what assets and employees he needs to get things watered on time. So it's a tool that keeps everybody.
That's fascinating. 20,000 acres, you said?
There's 20,000 acres, physical acres that we farm. The desert, for the most part, is a single crop. Most of the coastal areas are anywhere from a double crop to a triple crop. So we end up with just under 40,000 crop acres per year, which about 70% of that is organic.
Can we get some clap stuff going on? Never mind. You don't know the buttons. It's okay. That's impressive. That's impressive. A well-oiled machine, maximizing land space, almost doubling it. That's super fascinating to me.
Yeah.
It's
a lot of work.
It's taken a lot of years to get to that point.
Do you feel the new platform has made it better to plan it out, or versus the way you did it before?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially when you get into, we had a call this morning just to organize. So right now we call it a transition area. We're still planting in the desert, and we're starting to plant up in Central California right now. We've been having quite a bit of rain in both areas. So not all things get planted according to what we had laid out. So, we huddle up and we have to figure out, what changes we have to make to try to stay on schedule. Without a platform like this, it'd be really difficult to track everything because at the end of the day, our customers, they want to know what got in the ground within 24 hours of when it was supposed to. So they know ahead of time if they have to source product elsewhere, try to change orders with customers. We live in with a very perishable product in the salad space and fresh vegetables. So everything's gotta be well timed.
Yeah. So what are some hurdles that you've had to face on both sides, whether it's conventional or organic, and how have you overcome those?
I think one hurdle early on was being new to the business. There's in every area there's good ground, kind of medium ground, and there's poor ground. And the poor ground's always readily available, but it took like a lifetime to put an acre base together that is all good quality ground. We've had ground in the past that is marginal ground. It might be good for one crop, but not for all crops. And that really limits you when you really get into organic farming and now into regenerative is, you need to have a balanced rotation. We have issues today on nitrogen leaching and regulation and Ag Waiver 4.0 to comply to. So you want to have minimal inputs and higher yields. So I think one major hurdle is...
You might got a question over there.
You're mentioning something that I think is really important to sort of give us a little bit of an explanation on. It's called Ag Waiver 4.0.
Ag Waiver 4.0 is legislation passed in California to start measuring and limiting the use of nitrogen.
And got it.
So the the desired result is obviously to keep nitrates from leaching down into our water tables.
Thanks for explaining that.
Okay.
I'm a communicator. I should know this, so I'm happy that you explained it so I could share it more.
Okay. Other hurdles. Another huge hurdle in the organic farming was, we've been farming organically for about almost 35 years, and there was no roadmap for organic farming 35 years ago. And so it was trial and error, learn as you go. You didn't have universities and academia that is directing you in what works and what doesn't. And so it's been a huge, learning curve on bringing organics to where they are today. When we got started in them 35 years ago, they were only sold in health food stores. The price was twice as expensive as conventional, and the quality was terrible. So, we had to. And another hurdle was to go.
A lot of hurdles.
There are a lot of hurdles, and one big hurdle was to start going direct to all your major retailers. Costco was one of the first to jump on the organic salad bandwagon. It's taken a fair amount of time to build that market share for organic salads that you see today, and that took a better quality product. It took being reliable and consistent in your supply, and it took being fairly close, within 20% of the cost of conventional produce. There's a lot of other categories, like organic milk versus conventional, maybe twice the price, and so I think what really enabled us to grow that category to where it is today was that parity in price and quality.
I want to ask Emery here, because he's been farming, I'm suspecting, longer than you've been alive.
Yes.
What was that like for you? Talk a little bit about. I don't mean to take your job as a host, but please talk about that.
Ever since I was little, he's always been a farmer, and go on rides with him, and it was fun. And it's nice because it really helped me figure out what I want to do with my life, because I was just always around agriculture, and I knew I loved it. I was raised with it, and he was always around, good dad, but also working at the same time. I got to experience a lot of stuff too.
Now we are going to switch to the Man on the Street videos. We hope you enjoy. It's Amanda, and I'm here with
Ben Swan.
And
Shannon Stevens.
very, very nice. So, how often do you eat organic products?
Maybe once a week.
Okay.
I would say regularly.
Oh, very cool.
I eat like strawberries and bananas every week, but other than that, that's it.
Maybe only like a few times a week.
Probably daily.
Really?
3 to 4 times a week.
When I'm at home, I eat probably every day, but here, maybe once a week.
Hey, Cal. How often do you eat organic products? Yeah, that's what I thought. Bye.
Organic products. I'm going to say 0 times a week. I believe that conventional farming is the way to go. People who are organic are great too, but that's just the way I consume my food.
I would say like a couple times a week, probably.
So like every day.
Oh, every day.
Every day. What's your favorite organic product?
Blueberries.
Not very often since I'm in the dining hall.
So fair.
Maybe once a week.
Nice.
Not very often.
Probably like every day.
Well, thank you guys. We hope you guys enjoyed those man on the street videos made by our fellow students here at Cal Poly. So to kind of jump back into it, we were wondering if you see a difference in soil health, biodiversity, water infiltration on your organic lots versus your conventional lots.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Some of these ranches that we've been farming organically for 30 plus years, we see a total difference in the soil health, from how easy it is to till, even believe it or not, the weed pressure is less. The microbial activity is significantly higher, and so it's been I think we've conventionally, with the use of herbicides and other things, we've definitely set things back, but kind of the new a lot of this we're starting to be able to measure now, where kind of the next newer phase of organic production seems to be coming along the lines with some regenerative ag initiatives that we're doing. And regenerative agriculture is all about improving soil health, and the way we accomplish that, and this is strictly on the organic side, and we're not currently doing it on the conventional side, but we do a lot more cover cropping on the organic side. We've been also implementing some minimum till practices to reduce tillage and fuel consumption and all those kind of things. We're currently trialing some different types of clover and other vegetation in the furrows to reduce compaction, even while a crop's being grown, is new to our program. And then the use of some of these biochar fertilizers that help feed and house the microbial community. We're kind of just scratching the surface on all the benefits of good soil health. And we've had other indicators, and maybe Emery can, her summer intern project, this past summer was on tracking soil health indicators. So maybe you can talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so over the summer I took soil samples of like all the different ranches in Hollister, Salinas Valley, everything. And we saw a great difference. So we'd sample organic lots and conventional lots on the same ranch, so they're like right next to each other. But like the difference in the like microbial activity and like just the like the structure of the soil was so much better in the organic lots. It was crazy. But so
just
I think,
in general, overall, it's better
yeah,
the organics
yeah.
versus just the conventional.
It also depended on like how good the ranch was too. Some have better soil naturally and like not as sandy, but definitely the organic lots were much better.
Well, wait. What I'm hearing is that you simultaneously, like presently, you do conventional farming as well as organic farming. Is that true to say?
Yes.
How do you manage the political divide? Like, because there are a lot of people that are pro-organic, and then there are a lot of people are like, that's just a bunch of hooey, and then there are a bunch. I don't know the numbers, but there are people that are very pro-conventional farming, and think that the price gouge on organic products are too significant for the end consumer. How do you manage that political divide?
Well, first of all, I'll start with the last comment. I don't know if there's a gouge. I think in organic produce there's closer parity than most items, and we do have a few. Our fertilizer inputs are definitely more expensive on the organic side than they are on the conventional side. But when I started 50 years ago, I was 100% conventional agriculture, and that's all I knew. That's all I grew up with. That's pretty much what dominated the fresh produce industry. And I can tell you over the so fast forward to today, we're 70% organic, and we've been able to match yields with what we're doing conventionally. And 30 years ago, everybody would say you can't feed the world with ag farming or sustainable production, and I think we're starting to prove that theory wrong. So, and I think looking forward, we'll be 100% organic production. It's the future. It's what we need to do environmentally, and it's starting to become economically feasible as well. So I don't see any conflict. I think one was the past and the other is the present and future.
Now we're going to ask a more fun question. What's your favorite crop to grow? You grow so many. How many different crops do you grow?
Oh, I would guess probably close to 30. As far as, my favorite is hands down organic spinach by far. It's been challenging. It's probably one of our highest growth items. A lot of nutrition there, but it's challenging, and I feel like we've finally cracked the code consistently on it, and so that's by far.
Yeah. Would you say that's your most challenging too?
It's gone through some cycles. At one time, it was our most challenging because mildew on spinach was real, and fungicides on the organic production side are not effective like they are conventionally. So we have to rely heavily on resistance in our seed varieties that we plant, and these are all they've all been nothing's GMO. Nothing. I mean, they've all been conventionally bred, but breeding is a key to the success on the organic side, and so we've had times where a lot of the resistance has broken down, and then it becomes extremely challenging. We're going through that right now on a lot of our organic lettuces. We get a lettuce aphid, red aphid, that we get heavy pressure certain times of the year, and the resistance has broken down. So right now, that's probably the most challenging one to grow.
Is there a big difference in price when you sell to a consumer, like direct to consumer versus when it's conventional or organic, or what's the price difference on that?
Yeah, we've always tried to keep that within the 20% spread from conventional, and like I said, it's due to some higher inputs, but at the end of the day, we do enjoy a better margin. we can enjoy a better margin on organics today because we've been able to take those yields up to close to the conventional. But our main cost difference, like I mentioned before, was fertilizer. There's been some introduction to some new technology on the farming side to try to reduce some cost on weeding these days. With we have laser weeders today, and
do you want to talk a little bit about some of the new technology, like the laser weeders and the harvesting machines? Just
yeah, because that sounds cool.
Yeah, super cool.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that tech.
Cool.
Well, yeah. So, I think we're in some pretty exciting times right now. Along, what we're seeing from some of the new systems that I talked about earlier that drive our whole planning schedule department and work plan and purchasing and all that and forward thinking. So is been a game changer. We bought a machine last year from Carbon Robotics that is it's a laser weeder. So you can program this thing by crop to if you're going through spinach, for example, it will, through imaging, will identify what a spinach is, and anything that is not a spinach, gets
zapped.
Zapped. And so as this thing travels, and it's in the early stages right now. It's slow, it's big, it's heavy, it's really expensive. We hope it's going to be like a flat screen TV one of these days. The quality gets better and the price comes down. But this thing is pretty effective on the high density crops that we grow, like baby spinach and the baby lettuces. Everything goes into a spring mix salad.
Does it use AI to continuously collect data and understand?
No, and probably that's way out of my area of expertise.
Okay,
but,
that's fair.
But I did see some. I'll talk about some AI here in a second. But so this is some new technology that's out there that looks like it has a real promise and it's here to stay. Then we have some of these mechanical weeders now that if we go through and say we transplant a crop and the crop's romaine, it can identify the romaine and where each plant is through imaging, and then these little knives come in and out in between the plants to eliminate all your weeds. So so there's some new technology coming in a lot of the mechanical portion of what we do, and not only on the farm, but in the processing plants as well. And
it's like that the thing in the Taylor Farms one, how they the robots grab and the boxes, and it's cool.
Oh yeah, I did see that. We did a field trip. Were you there, director? Yeah. We went on a field trip to Taylor Farms, and they it's just a big giant room full with a lot of things that keep. Right. Anyways, it was fun.
It's like a robot.
No, it's
like 7,000 robots.
That's real. We did see. We went in October. Went to the Netherlands. For some field days on all the seed production. Probably 90+% of the vegetable seed production comes out of the Netherlands. There's 7 or 8 major companies there that kind of own the genetics and do a phenomenal job of breeding using all the newer technology that I hear Cal Poly's going to start looking into here and building a facility for some DNA markers and other type of genetic tracking, and it really speeds up the process. But anyway, as we were touring over there, we went through a production facility for one of the seed companies, and when they grow a crop of seed and bring it in from the field, it has, it can have weed seed in it, it can have other foreign objects in it, and they have to clean all this and sort it all, where when they sell it to us, we want something that doesn't have any weed seed, it has a real high vigor, and it has high germination and high uniformity. And so there's times that, and they have all the traditional way of sorting by color or weight or size, but now they have an AI sorter. And this AI sorter comes in when you have a weed seed that is almost identical to the crop seed, and it figures it out on its own how to distinguish one from the other. Was interesting.
So we have a few more minutes left. I have a question. I'm not sure if you have a question. You get to pick the last discussion point. For me, I'm always interested in figuring out, in your 50 years of agricultural experience, organic or otherwise, I would want to know what's the highlight of your entire career. So that's one question. Do you have a question that you want to put in the pot?
We're just gonna say, what advice do you have for the future generations of farmers? If you want to speak on that, I know you have 4 girls that maybe we'll get, or 5 girls. Sorry.
Well, I'll start by saying that ag offers a lot of career opportunities in a lot of different directions, and I can say that over the last 3 years, we've hired 6 new employees out of the Cal Poly Ag program down here, and
we're the smartest.
Hey, I agree with that point. But and they vary from like Tyler Harris is heading up the whole forward-thinking platform and that whole organizing part of our business. We have a couple of them that we're grooming for future ranch managers. They seem to, have more of maybe a tech base experience to them. We're starting to analyze information a lot more. We need to have real-time information, accurate information to drive good decisions. And so a couple of them are going to be ranch managers. Anthony Bella is now in our agronomy department, and we're starting to figure out why all these, what can we improve upon with soil health and reduced inputs and all that. So anything from, and then, Jonino came on board to start heading up some of this newer, more tech equipment that more sensitive equipment that we're starting to use in the field with laser weeders and mechanical weeders, and we want to get into a little bit more automated transplanting. So there's lots of opportunities. Yeah.
Well, we're in an ag comms class. What are some communication opportunities available to this batch of up and coming young professionals?
Well, they're at Taylor Farms. They've been a lot more active on a lot of the social media platforms and all those. It's the old type of marketing, that used to be trade shows and customer relations and all that. Now it's probably more consumer driven, and it's consumer driven, and you have to, you really have to deliver the goods and be a good supplier. But for, I think our industry is always under attack. And so I think any advocates for the industry with a knowledgeable background and like I said, there's different platforms for reaching consumers now. So influencers, whatever, there's
agricultural influencers.
Yeah, there's all kinds of, yes, there's a big need for getting the message out, no doubt.
Do we have time for one more question, Mr. Director? One more? I really do want to hear about the biggest highlight of your agricultural career.
Oh, I think it's still evolving.
Wow.
No,
prophetic.
No, I think it's really been the growth and success of organic, and just to see the results of the sustainable production system, and still how little we know about it. So I think it's just, it's a train that's on the right track, and it's just been great to be a part of it.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today. We really enjoyed it. I hope everyone else enjoys it, and make sure you thank a farmer.
Whoa.
Bye,
Thank a farmer.
Program funding for the Organic Odyssey was provided by the California Certified Organic Farmers Foundation, as well as the Transition to Organic Partnership Program. The show was created by Matt Grieshop, the talent coordinator and resident organic expert, as well as Moses Mike, the faculty production lead. The guest for this episode was Stan Pura. The Organic Odyssey is a production of the AGC 225 class called Digital Communications in Agriculture. The student team that produced the show included Andrew Angulo, the director, hosts Amanda Kidd and Emery Pura, and the technical team, Bailey Knirk, Daniela Rodriguez-Ruiz, Delaney Browder, Katie Cook, and Sierra Fugman. The Organic Odyssey is a digital media collaboration between the Agricultural Education and Communications Department and the Grimm Family Center for Organic Production and Research at